In this video, I'm going to tell you about 5 signs that made me realize that I really had to wake up because I was going to my doctor and he told me that I really need to really take my act seriously because I was just at my heaviest weight. I was not feeling confident when I was looking myself in the mirror. I was avoiding pictures, taking body measurement pictures because I was just knowing that how I was looking in the mirror and also picture was so bad. So by the end of this video, by watching this, you're going to get a lot of signs but also tips on what you should do instead so you can finally lose the weight, become the most healthiest version of yourself, get a lean, tone, muscular body, but also wearing the nice suit that you have, going as an ambitious professional man to your job and talking confident with your clients and doing all the presentations, getting all the career opportunities, and have a lot more energy to live the life that you really want. But the first wake up call for me was definitely when I was just looking myself in the mirror, and I always have a picture in myself that I really am someone who's working hard towards a future goal. And when I was always picturing myself as someone who was looking very nice in suits and looking fly, with feeling confident, with strong body. But the doctor was telling me when I was going to the doctor's visit that my cholesterol was too high. I had trouble breathing because I had to do some stairs, like running on the stairs. I was also feeling that the measurements that he was taking to me was a sign that I was not looking and feeling like myself, because the inches on my body was way larger than compared to the last doctor visit, and that was like a couple of years ago. So I really let myself down. So if you're someone who is just feeling embarrassed by these signs from your doctor, is something that you really should take seriously, because if a doctor who's like competent in regards to your health and checking up on you your whole life, he's saying that you really take to put your shit together, that's the right thing that I would word it, is you just need to do something about it. So when I was figuring out that I was having all these issues and also having diabetes because I was just eating too much junk food and was not seeing any results despite working out 5 times a week in the gym and doing endless amount of cardio, I was just feeling embarrassed because I was wasting a lot of money, time, and energy on trying to get fit, but I was not seeing the results that I want. I know it was like 13 years ago and I lost 60 pounds in 8 months. I kept it off for 13 years, but I still want to give you some tips in regards to what I was doing, because that wake-up call definitely changed my life. So what I definitely was doing is that despite doing a lot of work on my own, I was not seeing the results that I wanted, and it was pissing me off because I was just feeling that I was wasting my life. So I hired several fitness coaches. The first fitness coach that I was working with was someone who was a national bodybuilder, but he was in a category like with people who are very large, and I learned a lot in regards to nutrition. For example, I was learning that I need to figure out what types of food that I need to eat. I shouldn't eat chicken breast that was with a lot of fat, like chicken thighs, but more lean types of meat. And it was a great way to figure out that I had to remove a lot of shit I was eating in my diet because it was just not healthy, and I was often eating white bread. So that was also just a fast way to get some some energy. But I remember when I was eating that, I was just feeling very sluggish and all the energy was just leaving my body because I was not feeling that it was the right type of food. So instead I was just switching over to whole wheat bread. And if you're someone who's been dealing with these things, I also applaud you that you really are taking it seriously, because how food affects your life and also your energy levels is just so important. Because if you are someone who really needs to pay for mortgage, you have a lot of things you need to pay, and you're waking up at going to work and you feel disgusted how you feel in your body and how you look, it's a time for you to take action. Because if you have just been dabbling around and you feel like what you are doing with your body is not affecting your, for example, your life and your work, this is not the right channel for you. So if you feel like it's affecting your work in the way that you feel shy, talk with clients, and you're also missing out on career opportunities because you're too fat, that was just a wake-up call for me that I really need to really put my act together, because my boss was looking at me and was saying that he was someone who didn't feel confident sending me out to some presentation because I didn't look like presentable, and going on these business trips was taking a toll on me because I was just someone who's feeling like I was not up to it because I was just too heavy. So that was definitely the first thing I wanted to share with you from my own weight loss journey. And I also hope that you, by listening to this, can get a lot of pointers of what you should do instead. Second wake-up call when I was going to my doctor's, he was telling me that I really need to put my shit together, was that I was seeing a lot of difficulty walking upstairs and running because I had to take some tests, and that also affected me in a way that I was someone who usually was running a lot without problem. 5K, that was no problem. And also I was also like very active when I was playing soccer. I love playing soccer and being very strong, being able to tackle people and hold my own ground when people were tackling me, and just being not able to doing that anymore because I was feeling out of breath just walking. And running for 5 kilometers was just embarrassing, because the way that was embarrassing for me was I was not able to run as much as I wanted, and not being able to run was also a way for me to understand that when I was going out to traveling, I was not going to be able to live with the freedom that I used to be. I was using to go out hiking a lot, and it takes like 5-10 kilometers up the mountain, and it was something that I really appreciate and enjoy, because you just have the freedom that not having stamina, and you're not feeling that you are up to the task and you need to say no to your partner, and just seeing the disappointing in her eyes is just making me feel like I was breaking her heart. And that was just also something that really made me realize that when I need to invest into a fitness coach, which I also did, I was not seeing the results that I want because I was not learning all the things that I really needed. So I switched to another fitness coach where he was teaching me more about, for example, macros and the way to work out your body. Because when I was working out the weight I was doing, the first fitness coach, he was just giving me a very not tailored approach to working out. I always picture like a lean, toned, muscular body, someone who's feeling confident, wearing suits, have broad, wide shoulders, a tight midsection, and also big thighs that are toned. That is something that is a lot of people in the boardrooms are listening to. But if you're someone who is feeling that you are looking very blocky because you are working out with weights where you're doing a lot of deadlifts, and that puts a lot of pressure and a lot of growth on your waist, and also doing squats, that is not the right way to work out. So I was just switching over to another coach, like a third coach, who definitely taught me about macros, calorie deficit diets, because it's the most important thing when you've been trying to eat in a calorie deficit, and you need to stick to it, because the way fat loss is working is the longer you are in a calorie deficit and maintaining that could be 200-300 calories below your maintenance calories, the faster you're going to lose weight. And it takes a long process with you just feeling that you need to take one day at a time, and you're losing weight all around your body. Depending on who you are as a person, I am someone who's losing a lot of weight in my face, then my thighs, then my arms, and the last place I'm losing weight is my abs. So that's just how it is. I'm just take one day at a time, even though it sucks sometimes that it takes too long, but that's just what I've been teaching my clients, because that's just the way that is going to be. So you need to occupy yourself with other things in your life instead of just focusing on food, because that's just something that can make you feel that it's boring life. So by doing other stuff, it makes life just more fun. And by having a high protein diet with 45% of your daily calories come from protein, that is something I really need to focusing on, because I used to be someone who's just having a high carb diet, but I was always feeling that when I was losing weight, I didn't have so much muscle because a higher protein diet keeps the muscle while you're in calorie deficit and it burns all the fat. So that's going to be very beneficial to you. And also know that when I was someone who was not eating that way, I was having a lot of cravings. So having higher protein diet also eliminates a lot of the cravings. So that was just something that I really saw when I was losing the weight. I was able to lose weight faster, get feeling the need of feeling strong was also more, it was easier to look at, because when I was walking up the hills like hiking, I was having a backpack, and when I was very heavy, it was feeling very exhausting. But when I was losing all the weight, I was feeling strong and have a lot of explosiveness when I was walking up to the hiking places. And also just feeling the confident of being able to do that again, because if you're someone at your heaviest and you've been struggling with feeling confident doing certain tasks with your partner or family because of you just being out of breath, that's something that you really need to change if it's your final goal, to be able to have the freedom to do other stuff besides just working and just living life. The third wake-up call my doctor was mentioning in regards to me and my weight being overweight was that I was just not feeling like the person that I used to. I remember when I was like younger, I was very open, I had a lot of energy and feeling very positive about life. But lately, when I was coming to the doctor's visit, he felt like I was changed as a man, because it was just feeling like I was shy, I was not feeling confident, I wasn't as open as I used to, didn't have a lot of this energy. And he was also asking me how was that affecting my relationships and also my life. In regards to my relationships, I felt like I wasn't as funny to be around with my ex-girlfriend and friends, because I was just saying no to a lot of stuff, like, do you want to go out and eat, do you want to go out traveling, going for walks, running, working out. I wasn't feeling up to the task, because just knowing that how I was looking in the mirror and taking pictures, I felt embarrassing, and that was not something that I felt was deserving of my family and also my ex-girlfriend. So I was feeling that an urgent need to do something, because if you're someone who's always feeling very proud in how you look when you look into the mirror and just taking pictures, and when you're taking on clothes, like it could be t-shirts, and you feel strong and you feel like you're not having your stomach bulging out, and also when you're wearing suits, that the suits are fitting very beautiful over your body, compared to when you are at your heaviest weight, just like myself, like the stomach just pulling out and you having the trouble fitting the pants. That was just also a wake-up call. So I was, in the beginning of my weight loss journey, I was very motivated to do a change, because I also want to have the right structure. So I had the last fitness coach, he was the national champion in bodybuilding, and me following his guidance was a way for me to just keep going, because I've been trying 2 fitness coaches so far and I was not seeing the results that I want. So the first couple of weeks, by following this workout plan, diet plan, by being 200-300 calories in deficit, working out 5 times a week in the gym, I focusing on compound movements, like 2-3 of that, because in the beginning of your workout, you have a lot of energy and you want to utilize that energy by targeting like several muscle groups. For example, if you're working out your chest, you are working out chest press, you're working out your chest as well as your arms, like your triceps. So that is going to put a lot of pressure on your body, and by doing that, you're going to have using a lot of this energy. And the more you are, for example, focusing on a simple formula, I always starting out with a warm-up set that's 10 to 12 reps. There could be 20 kilos in total. You write that down on a piece of paper or your phone in a note, and then you do 10 to 12 reps focusing on mind muscle connection, while you're actually focusing on where the muscles you're working is being targeted. With proper form, I always study all the videos before I'm going to the gym, and then you want to do 60 seconds of rest. Then you go to the next set where you are increasing the weight with like 5 kilos more, so it's 25 kilos in total, and you perform the exercise with 1 to 2 reps before failure. That could be 10 to 12 reps, so you are hitting like say 11, 12 reps, because that's a sign for you that you are actually pushing yourself. And that's also something that's called progressive overload, where you're constantly increasing the weight and the volume of how you're working out, because the more you are breaking down these muscle tissues and trying to increase it, the faster you're going to build even more muscle through rest and recovery, and also the right diet. So let's say that the next time you're working out, of course you're doing that 2 sets and 3 sets more, like so a warm-up set and 3 sets in total. And then the next time you're working out your chest, maybe you are able to, instead of feeling that 20 kilos as a warm-up is easier, then you go to 25. That's just a sign that being stronger is also a sign of you being able to build more muscle, and also a sign of you burning even more fast, like fat. So that's something that's been really helpful for me. And after 2-3 of these combo of movements, you're feeling a bit exhausted, then you go over to, for example, isolation movement. That could be triceps. You're working out your triceps from different kinds of muscle groups. That could be, you could do the tricep push downs, the tricep rope, and decline or dips, for example, targeting 3 groups of the triceps, because that's just, triceps is just a way to say that it's divided into 3 muscle groups. And you also want to do like cable flies after you're doing the 3 combo of movements, because you want to target the muscle from different angles. So that's just what I've been utilizing a lot with my muscle connection and progressive overload, because by utilizing your energy levels in the beginning, you are pushing a lot of the weights, and you're also going to try to sculpture your body in the way that it looks beautiful. So if you have a lot of fat in the beginning, just like myself, it just takes a long time before you are going to lose the weight. And that's also monitoring your weight every single week. I was not only monitoring my weight on the scale, I go to the bathroom like Monday morning, I take a shit, and then I, for example, weigh myself on an empty stomach, and then I'm not drinking anything. Then I get the weight, and also weighing myself without clothes, because that's just more accurate estimate. And then I also taking body measurement pictures by my coach, front, back, and side in the same lighting, same time of the day, and also having measurements I'm taking off my body every 4th week. So the pictures and the measurements every 4th week. So that's something that'd be a big game changer for me. So because the reason why I was just feeling that I wanted to keep up being motivated and disciplined was how it affected my whole life with what my doctor was saying. So I definitely feel like if you keep doing this just by following these small advice, you'll see a big game changer this year. 4th wake-up call that I was learning about me being at my heaviest weight from my doctor was that he was telling me that I have diabetes, and me knowing that I was having that was just a very scary way to going to the doctors, because I know a lot of guys who've been on like very heavy and having diabetes. Was just a wake-up call for them as well, that they really need to put their shit together, because if you're someone who has diabetes, you probably need to stabilize your blood sugar and also doing a lot of injection. And I didn't feel like I want to be reliant on these things and getting injections, because I was just afraid of the needles. So I really got that motivation to keep doing something. And I know that investing into a fitness coach in the beginning was something that was an expense, but I was also looking at this as an investment, because if I was at the point of really need to take a change right now, because I've been yo-yo dieting, under eating, overeating for several decades. I was just not seeing the results that I want. It was so frustrating. So I really got to motivate myself to really do something, because it's just a scary wake-up call. I know that a lot of guys who are not at that point yet, that's not the video for you or channel for you. But if you're someone who at the breaking point and you feel like the weight is just pulling you away from doing all the things that you want, for example, you want to get more opportunities at work, and you feel like the jobs, the tasks you're doing at work is just monotonous and you're not feeling fulfilled, it's also because you have to take a look at yourself, not only in regards to how you are feeling in your body, but also how it affects the way that you're doing the work, if you're feeling disgusted with how you look yourself in the mirror and you don't feel confident wearing the clothes because your stomach is bulging out, that also have a big influence in how you're interacting with your colleagues and also with you meeting new clients. Your boss also feels that way, that if you're feeling that you are lacking the confidence and self-esteem to embark on new projects because it just feels like you need to get the work over with and come back home and eating a lot of junk food. So my tip for you should definitely be that you really need to reassess how important is it for you to losing the weight and how much it affects your life. Because when I knew that I really need to make a change was just because I would just want to be reliant on having medication and also like having needles. That wasn't the most important thing for me. And I also had a lot of career opportunities. I want to be a director, like sales manager, but I wasn't able to do that because I was just too fat. So me just keep listening to my coach and being very disciplined every single week with following the diet and a workout plan. Of course, I was fucking tired all the time in the beginning because I was just way different compared to working out when I was just doing a lot of things that I was doing before. But working out with weights was tiring because it had a lot of muscle pains in the beginning. But eventually, I really liked the process with just monitoring my weight every single week and also writing down every single thing I was doing when I was working out. If I was not, for example, lose weight 1 to 2 pounds a week, I had to monitoring myself and also talk with my coach what I was doing wrong. Maybe I was hitting a weight loss plateau, so I was needing to adjust 200 calories more from my diet. Instead of 4 times of cardio every single week, I was doing 5 times of cardio every single week. And instead of 6,000 steps, I was doing 8,000 steps. And that was breaking through the weight loss plateau. So small and easy steps definitely helped me a lot. Last wake up call my doctor was telling me about my weight, like being at my heaviest weight, was that he was asking me, why do you want to lose weight for yourself? Like, what's the reason why? Well, I was always someone who's been feeling that I was like very fit and love how I was looking at myself in the mirror and pictures, and also feeling confident how I was walking and the way that I was portraying myself, and feeling very confident when people were asking me about how to be fit and like muscular, and also have a lot of knowledge, feeling pride and proud in how I was talking with other people, like very calm. And that was something I was feeling very proud of, and also being able to help other people with the same issues that I was dealing with, and also just being able to having the freedom to go out and travel with my ex-girlfriend, and also just being able to, for example, go out with friends, do a lot of things without feeling the constraint of being overweight and feeling breathless. The impact of that was just feeling that I was not up to task and living life. In order to live a free and awesome life, it's just easier if you are just feeling strong and proud of how you look every single day, and you're waking up feeling very pumped. And that was something that was sparking my motivation to keep working. And I was always trying to keep up with a journal every single day, because I know that when you're on a weight loss journey, it's just feeling very exhausting a lot of times, and you don't want to do all these things. But I was always reminding myself, like, why do you want to keep doing this? And it was also the reason why was just making me feel that I was wanting to do something for my long-term future avatar of how I want to look. Because like 13 years later, I feel like I'm finally at a place where I can feel proud of myself, because of just helping other people doing what I would love if someone was at my zero state. So I feel like I'm at the point where I can give a lot of good advice for you guys. But I was doing 3 things in the beginning. I was always saying that when I was new to losing weight and I was wanting to work out 5 times a week, like for example Friday, I was writing into my diary what I was being grateful that I was following the workout and diet plan. It wasn't always perfect, but I was always trying to look at the positive things that I was working out like 5 times a week and following my diet plan, I was saying today I'm grateful that I was following my diet plan, and I'm grateful that I am doing something for my own health. I am grateful that I was seeing more my work in a more positive life, and I feel less disgusted with whether I'm looking myself in the mirror. And then I was also saying 5 things that I was doing good at. For example, I was good at working out with with the weights, like having good my muscle connection because of overload. And then I was also being like critical of what I could do better the next day. Tomorrow I can, for example, be more focused on when I'm working out and focusing on breathing, because that's very important when you are doing the reps. For every single rep you should focusing on, for example, if you are starting with a bench press, then you're taking a breath like this, and then you're pushing out the air while you are pressing out the weight, because you want to give your body some oxygen to pull out the weight, and like doing the movements, because the body needs oxygen in order to perform well. So that's just something I want to be perfect at, and it's like slow and steady small reps. But if you're someone who at your heaviest weight you've ever been, or maybe not at the heaviest, but you feel like you are very more heavy at your weight, and you feel like you want to become the most healthiest version of yourself, just like you listened to me and saw the transformation pictures of my weight loss journey, and you want to change your life, there's a link in the description, also in the comment section, where you can apply for coaching with me, and we'll see if we are fit to work together, and we can just build a game plan to help you finally lose the weight for good. Looking forward to talk with you. Bye.